7 reasons why cryptocurrencies dump. If you've ever bought into a cryptocurrency and then it's dumped on you like this, then you'll want to watch this entire video where I explain the 7 different reasons that can actually cause a cryptocurrency to dump like this. And if you find this video helpful, go ahead and click like and subscribe whenever you feel called to do so. So with that being said, I promise you that this video is going to likely save you thousands and thousands of dollars and help you from making really dumb crypto investment decisions. So let's go ahead and let's talk about it. So the number 7 reason why cryptos dump is because the team or the VCs sell. So if you're not familiar with this, the way that most projects work is the team gets a certain percentage allocation as well as venture capitalists. Now, obviously venture capitalists and the team, they are taking on the bigger risk by investing into something that's brand new and riskier. So they do receive these coins at a much lower price than the general public does. But the reason why you really need to pay attention to this is because at some point, this team or these VCs are going to be so far in profit that they're going to dump their coins. Now, generally, there's some sort of vesting schedule or vesting period where they're not able to dump all of their tokens at once, but there is occasionally situations where they can actually dump them all or start to dump them all at one time. And when that happens, and if you can imagine a ton of these tokens or coins being dumped onto the marketplace, then obviously this has not a positive thing for price. Usually price will plummet because of it or it'll dump. So one thing that you need to make sure that you're aware of is you need to make sure that you're aware of how much of an allocation does insiders get, meaning the team and VCs. And you can look on Messari.io, or it should be available in any project's white paper. It should be very easy to find, but you can see how much is actually made available to the public versus insiders. And the more that's actually made available to the public, the lower chance of it dumping because of this reason. If you take a look, at something like Solana, for example, it has a high amount that was actually given to VCs and insiders, and Binance, same thing. So this is just something that you want to be aware of, and you want to be aware of when is the date that these tokens actually come onto the market and that these guys can actually sell that are likely in 10x to 20x or even more profit, because the chance of them dumping on you is likely. The number 6 reason why a cryptocurrency could dump is because a key person on the team ends up leaving. And if you can imagine, this would be like, imagine if Vitalik ended up leaving Ethereum, or imagine if Elon Musk ended up leaving Tesla. In the near term, this is going to cause the price of that asset to dump. And as we saw recently with one of the key developers for FTM, Andre Cronje, basically he ended up leaving, he called it quits, and you can see what happened. When he made that announcement, the price obviously dumped pretty hardcore because a lot of people associate the success of a certain project or cryptocurrency to one general person a lot of the times. This would be similar if like Do Kwon from Terra Luna, if he were to leave, then this was likely cause a dump in the asset price momentarily, not saying that it couldn't recover over time, but it's likely going to dump in the short term. And number 5 is the failure to execute on time on a roadmap. As you know, most cryptocurrency projects have something called a roadmap, which is basically their public-facing document of what the project tends to accomplish and in what time period. And if a team is not hitting deadlines or hitting certain milestones on the roadmap, this causes the public to lose faith in the team behind the project as well as the cryptocurrency associated with it. So a lot of the times this will cause uncertainty in the market. And when people are not certain about a certain asset, a lot of the times this will dump. And this, I think, is a big part of why Cardano has kind of underperformed for the past while, is because they've been really slow to ship anything or really slow to develop things or to hit milestones. And there's been a lot of excuses and delays. And so if this continues to happen, this loses the faith or the vote of confidence from the public, which can cause the price of a cryptocurrency to dump. By the way, if you're finding this video helpful, you'll also find our page on Instagram extremely helpful. I constantly put out new reels every day and stories with all the latest stuff that we're doing in cryptocurrency. And if you go follow us and you message us the word viral, I'll actually send you a free report on how we find viral altcoins before they start pumping. So go ahead and follow us at Blue Edge Crypto and DM us the word viral. The number 4 thing that can cause a cryptocurrency to dump is competition. As we know, the marketplace is ruthless and it will constantly always bring the best product to the marketplace and bring it to the forefront of the marketplace. If we take a look at what happened with Blockbuster and Netflix, obviously Blockbuster went out of business. Netflix is this giant. If we take a look at BlackBerry and Apple, same thing sort of happened. The better product came to the forefront of the market. We also look at Uber and taxis, for example. Taxis are pretty much obsolete most places around the world, and Uber, the better product, has actually ended up winning out. And the same thing happens not only all over in the marketplace, but also in cryptocurrencies. And you can see this happening all of the time because a lot of the times cryptocurrency projects or their code is actually open source, meaning that people can basically just take this code and they can fork it really simply. What does that mean? That means that they basically just copy it. They can make a couple adjustments to it. And because of that, everyone can start flocking to this new protocol or this new project or buying this new cryptocurrency, and the obsolete one or the old one would actually dump. So this is something that's happened a lot of times, especially we see it with DEXs a lot of time. If a certain DEX has the majority of the market share, but another DEX comes out and it's way better, it's easier to use, there's better tokenomics, it's lower fees, all of this stuff, it's a better product, then people are likely going to migrate here and put their vote of confidence over here and dump the previous project. The third reason why you can see generally the entire cryptocurrency market dump really quickly is because of excessive leverage in the market. And this can cause a cascading effect of liquidations. So leverage means that you can basically do 2x or 5x or even 10x or 30x leverage, which is really, really dangerous because yeah, you could make windfall of profits really quickly, but also you could lose your entire investment really, really quickly. And so we see this happening a lot more in the markets because there now is leverage in the cryptocurrency markets. And you can see just this article back from April was saying that the crypto futures saw a record $10 billion worth of liquidations. And this usually happens when you see a ton of people going long with leverage. You see this sort of liquidation price action start to happen. Like you saw here, we were just gradually moving up. People were probably getting euphoric and then some sort of bad news happens. But instead of, the bad news just causing the market to correct a little bit, it caused this massive candle to come down in this giant wick because people started getting liquidated. And what does that mean? That means that they started losing their position entirely. And when that happened, that caused the market to crash even further, which caused more people to lose their position. And it caused this cascading liquidation effect, which we see happen often in the market with these huge, giant red candles with these big wicks. Generally, this is caused by over leverage in the market. The second thing that can cause cryptocurrencies to dump is rug pulls and smart contract exploits. So rug pulls are essentially basically when a founder creates some sort of cryptocurrency project, generally built around hype, generally not a ton of effort put into this. Something like Squid Games, if you guys were familiar with this, it was a huge Netflix TV series. They basically created this squid token, launched it around the same time that this TV series was really, really hot. And it went from basically from 1 penny all the way up to $3.36. And basically pretty much overnight, the developers went rogue and just dumped the entire thing and nothing has happened. As you can see here at its height, it was like cranking and just died. Like it's nowhere to be found. And this is what happens when there's a rug pull. Basically, the way that you can prevent rug pulls a lot of the times is by looking for cryptocurrency projects that are doxed. And this basically means that the founders have public-facing documentation. They're basically putting their name and their reputation on the line. Now, it doesn't mean just because a team is not doxed, doesn't mean that it's a bad project and they're going to rug pull. But at the same time, if you can find a project where the founders are actually doxed or public-facing or putting their name on the line, then the likelihood of a rug pull actually happening is a lot less. So be careful of that when you're investing in a project that doesn't have some sort of public-facing founder behind it that puts his name behind it. So on that same token or a similar token is smart contract exploits. And this can just be a bug in the smart contract that somebody can hack into and they can steal funds essentially. This was a big one that happened back in 2016. Basically, they exploited 3.6 million Ethereum, which is worth like $79.6 million that was stolen. And the investors in this could never really get their funds back. So this is still a risk that happens in cryptocurrency even to this day. Generally, you'll want to look for some some sort of audit that happens on a cryptocurrency project before investing, especially in the decentralized finance space. This is just something that, intelligent people do, coders do. They go in and they take a look and they read the code and see, is there any bugs in it? Is it likely to be able to be hacked or not? So having having an audit doesn't mean that there's no chance that it can get hacked, but it makes the likelihood of it getting hacked a lot less. And so I always look for those two things. I like to see that the team is doxed, and I also like to see that there's some sort of audit on the smart contract. Oh yeah, and by the way, if you're finding this video helpful, then you'll also want to check out our membership at blueedgefinancial.com/crypto, where you'll get our crypto academy, our portfolio, our trading algorithm, our playbook, all of the moves that we're making inside decentralized finance. We do live calls in there weekly, a bunch of good stuff in there as well. So go on over to blueedgefinancial.com/crypto and become a member. Now, the last thing that can cause cryptocurrencies to dump has something to do with the macro forces, or the greater macroeconomic situation that's happening in the world. And if you take a look at things like announcements with the Fed talking about interest rates, generally this can move the market quite a bit. And generally, if you see that the Fed is going to increase interest rates, generally this is bad for assets because money becomes more expensive. The interest rates are higher, money is more expensive to borrow, and so there's less economic stimulus. Usually, people are usually not taking that money and investing it as much because it's more expensive to do so. If we hear about interest rates that are dumping, then this is generally a good thing for assets because people can get money even cheaper and invest it into certain assets. So this is one thing in regards to macroeconomic forces. Another thing would be like the war, for example, that's happening in Ukraine and Russia. This war, it brings a lot of uncertainty. This is something that is outside of the crypto ecosystem, but it affects it greatly. So if there was some great famine, or if there was some disease that came out, like or some flu that came out, like COVID-19, then this could also spook or affect the cryptocurrency markets as well. By the way, if you found this video helpful, like it and subscribe, as well as check out some of the other really helpful videos that we've made on our channel here.